Alright, so apparently it's been announced that the lineup for the Teen Titans live-action show has been announced. It's been announced, and I gotta say, it's a pretty interesting lineup. Now, we all knew that Nightwing was going to be in the show, so we do have Dick Grayson in here. But they've now announced the other members of the team, and there were some members I was expecting, and a few I was like, wow, that's interesting. So here's the full lineup. Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Hawk and Dove, and Barbara Gordon. So yes, no Cyborg or Beast Boy. Now I was kind of half expecting no Cyborg. I was half expecting no Cyborg. I was surprised that we didn't have Beast Boy, but then I read somewhere in one of the articles that apparently it was a budget problem, that they couldn't have it, TNT, even though they have loads of money, couldn't keep doing the whole animal shape-shifting thing. But who knows? Maybe they'll change their minds in the later of the season, or maybe they have them planned for next season. I hope Garfield Logan shows up in this show. Cyborg, I kind of in the back of my mind guessed that he wouldn't be in the show because DC New 52 and all that. Cyborg would probably be with the Justice. He's in the Justice League. So they're like, oh, we can't use Cyborg. Whatever. Oh man. So let me make this clear. Interesting lineup. I really like that we do have Raven and Starfire, and of course Nightwing all together. Hawk and Dove, of course, were Titans. The big question is which Hawk and Dove are they going to use? Because you have to remember, there have been several incarnations of Hawk and Dove. Are they going with Hank, the brothers, Hank and Don Hall, or are they just going with Hank Hall and the female Dove, or the sister Hawk and Dove team? There have been several incarnations of Hawk and Dove. My bet is that it's Hank Hall and what's her name, the new Dove, the one that was in Teen Titans in that god awful Rob Liefeld comic. So that's my bet. But I would be surprised if it was Don Hall in there as well, along with Hank Hall. There's no doubt in my mind that Hank Hall's Hawk in this series. Barbara Gordon. Here's the other thing. Barbara Gordon struck me as color me shocked as well, because I was very surprised that Barbara was going to be in this show, because I thought they would try to, other than Nightwing, wouldn't have any other Batman characters in here, and if anything, I thought Barbara would be, just a cameo role at best, but here she is now. They haven't said, at least from the article I read, I read was that Barbara, they've just said Barbara Gordon. They didn't say if she's going to be Batgirl or Oracle. So I'm really curious as to where is she going to be. Is she going to be Batgirl or Oracle? I could be fine either way. Preferably, I would like her more as Oracle, as the team's tech support, the tech girl, since they don't have Cyborg. And, yeah, I think there'd be a lot of interesting stories with her as Oracle. Now let's talk about the obvious elephant in the room. You have Nightwing, Starfire, and Barbara all on the same team. As most of you guys know, the two women that Dick Grayson has loved the most in his life is, of course, Barbara Gordon and Coriander, a.k.a. Starfire. Those two women have made the biggest impact on Dick's life since his time, romantically. I mean, yeah, he's been with several other women before, but no other women made an impact on Dick's life than those two. It's just like with Scott, Emma, and Jean, where, Scott has chemistry with both women. It's the same thing here. Now, now the reason why I'm bringing this up, and I'm kind of seeing this in both ways. I'm kind of afraid TNT might do the CW route of saying, oh, it's a love triangle route, because obviously we need that teen angst bullshit in this superhero show. Like, we don't have enough of that in Arrow, and, well, at least Flash knows how to handle it. And I'm a little more lenient towards Teen Titans, because it looks like Jeff Johns is going to be the showrunner of that as well as he is as Flash. So at least the people at the writers in the Flash TV show know how to write romantic stuff so far. So I'm really kind of worried but again, that whole I'm really worried they're going to do a love triangle thing. Now, yes, Dick has, obviously been with one girl but cheated on with the other. I mean, he did that before in one comic where he was kind of with Barbara, but then he slept with Starfire. So I'm kind of wondering where they're, I'm kind of wondering, is this going to, they're just going to have, like, them have some friction between the two? Really curious as to where they're going to go with that. I'm just happy Raven's in here, and hopefully they won't make her look like frickin' New 52 Raven. I don't care. Man, I just hate that design, and I hate what they did with her in New 52 Titans. So please make it pre-52 Teen Titans. I would even settle for Jeff Lemire's Earth 1 Titans look for Raven. I would be fine with that. So, I don't know, like, again, I'm a little more okay with this because Dick is a bit of a playboy himself, but I just don't want that whole love triangle thing bringing it down. I mean, yeah, they're teenagers, and, hormones are part of the thing of being a teenager, but come on, they're superheroes too. I want to see some superhero stuff. And again, I think out of most, the ones I'm most excited for is Raven, because, again, she's one of my favorite comic book characters in general, and this also hopefully they'll bring in Trigon. I am really hoping they bring in do something like a Trigon saga in one of the later seasons. And I am curious if they're going to use Slade in here. And another thing I'm still wondering, because they've kept this up in the air, if this show is going to be in continuity with the Flash and Arrowverse. I didn't see that in the article I read. So I am, I'm very curious if it's going to be the Arrowverse, because I still think you could do the Slade and Nightwing rivalry in the Arrowverse, because Slade was, Slade didn't just like climb out of that boat and get all that, wealth and make that whole plan for Oliver Queen. It would be kind of cool is that, if they put it in the same universe, I think it would be cool that, we have flashbacks to, what Deathstroke was doing. He was obviously killing people. What if he found his way to Bloodhaven and fought Nightwing? His first time, Dick's first, one of Dick's early years being Nightwing. And that kind of started their rivalry. Because I kind of, let's face it, out of every, Slade has always been he's always been considered a DC Universe villain, but if you were to ever ask, someone, hey, who's Dick Grayson's arch nemesis, it would always be Slade Wilson. Because those two have a very underrated hero-villain rivalry. It's not as well known as it is like Batman and Joker or Superman and Luthor, but it's there, and they have done some, Slade did some horrible things to Dick, and, Dick Grayson has never been, he's managed to keep up with Grayson, with Slade, but he's never, the two of them have done some horrible things. I mean, hell, Deathstroke dropped Chemo on Bloodhaven and nuked it. So, yeah. All in all, I'm very excited. I'm really interested by the lineup. We have 3 members from the Wolfman Perez run. Well, actually, no. I think Hawk and Dove were in the Wolfman Perez run, but I don't think they were on the main team, honestly. They could have been. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read the Wolfman Perez run. So, I could be completely lost on that. Anywho, so you guys tell me, what do you guys think of the live action lineup for the Teen Titans TV show? Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? Are you hoping they won't do the love triangle bullshit? And what other members of the Titans do you want to see come in? Me personally, if it is linked to the Arrowverse, I would love to see Colton Haynes show up as Arsenal, because he's, again, as I've said before, one of the best things in Arrow. Anyway. So, again, really curious to see what you guys are going to have, and who knows, maybe they will have, I'll be shocked that, and maybe they will have Cyborg. Doubt it, because they have him in the movie, so I guess that's a weird rule, even though we do have a small screen Barry Allen. But I digress. But I digress. I'm hoping for, Donna Troy, Cassie Lang, Cassie Sandsmark, excuse me, I was thinking of something. Oh yeah, Cassandra Cain. How about her? Can we get her? Anyway. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.